Welcome to Craft House. Hello, it's lovely to see you here on Crafters TV. How is your day going so far? Do you feel like you need a little bit of a friendly floral flourish? Easy for you to say. If so, then you are completely and absolutely in the right place. If we've not met before, hi, it's lovely to see you. My name's Becky and we have got a Sharon Callis special. Now, if you have maybe joined us, maybe you're quite new to us, maybe you've not seen a Sharon Callis show before, let me just prepare you. You're about to see some dies that are so unique and so individual that they make exquisite pieces that, I'll be honest, if you are new, you might look at them for the first time as a finished product and think, I can never do that. I promise you, you can, because these as a collection are genuinely ingenious. And it is my absolute pleasure to have the lovely Sharon on with us today as well. So if you've got any questions for her, make sure you are getting social, because she is more than happy to answer those questions. So do feel free to message us in. Let's say hello to Sharon now. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
Oh, I'm lovely, thank you. It's so nice to have you on with us again. What's the weather been like where you are today, please?
Typical Irish weather. Yesterday, rain, wind, hail, hurricanes. Today, bright, sunny, warm, hot. Typical.
I love that. It keeps you on your toes, to be sure.
It certainly does.
So, Sharon, we have got some wonderful florals to start off with. Can you tell us a little bit about these, please?
Okay, well, the first collection is the Garden Florals collection. This is perfect for all occasions, but specifically this time of year when you're creating your cards, your table centerpieces, your even decor for outside, you know, your picnic tables, your special events, because these dies not only cut paper and card, but can be used in other mediums as well, like a thin core card. If you have aluminum sheets, you can work with those as well, vellum, acetate. So don't be put off by the fact that this is paper that I would be using my demos, because you can use these dies across many mediums. And in these flowers, there are flowers that you would see this time of year, like your lilies, your orchids, and your ranunculus, you know, and your roses as well, everybody's favorite. So there's a lot in this collection. You know, you have a lot of fun, a lot of versatility with it.
Absolutely, and there is so much in this. I'm going to quickly dive on into this deal just to let you know we have got your garden florals. So we're bringing to you 26 dies, which is huge. That's a massive amount. That is going to keep you busy. We have also got 2 embossing folders, which work great with these because it just adds a little bit of extra tactility. And I've also got with this 180 sheets of paper, which take these florals to the next level. I want to let you know that today we've got a mega discount. You're saving nearly £42 or nearly $56 on these, getting the whole collection for just £99.99 or $123.65. So if you've never seen these before, sit back, relax and get ready to treat yourself, because you are going to definitely want to get your hands on these. So Sharon, where should we start?
I'll go through the collection and show you the components that you will get in, and you won't believe all that you're getting for that price today.
Fab.
So we'll start with the flowers. So as I mentioned earlier, we have the ranunculus flower. Now, if you look here at what I've made here, we've got 2 sizes. We've got a large and a small. Both are achieved using the one die, and this is what you achieve with the die. So just to explain the concept behind these dies. If you're familiar with a quilling die, you will have seen a single strip die, and you would have had to cut that out, but you would have had to cut a second layer. Then you would have been adding glue, putting one layer over the other, trying to align them, letting that dry, then you would try and quill it. And we all know how tricky that is to get a uniform curl with your quill. With this concept, you just cut once, you fold along the perforated line. That means that your bottom and top layer are cut together. They're already stuck together. They're already aligned together. So this really is like one cut, one fold, one roll. So in this then, this is the ranunculus. And with these dies as well, you also get your foliage. So you can make the complete flower in this. So we have the ranunculus. Then we have this gorgeous tea rose. And on this, you'll notice the petals have little peaks. And I will show you later on in the demo why they have that and the trick that you can use to turn this into a gorgeous dimensional flower. So here are our tea roses. Again, we've got a large and a small. And all you've got to do is cut one strip for the small one or two strips for the bigger one. And you just continue on quilling where you finish the first. Keep going with the second, and that's how you grow your flower. Then we have our gorgeous lily. This is so easy to make. Don't be put off by the fact that there's only the 6 petals and it's a small. You will get a gorgeous lily out of this every time. Then we have our orchid, which is absolutely a beautiful flower, either laid flat or add wire to the back, and then you can create a dimensional display. Then we have our mountain peony. So the mountain peony is the smallest flower that we have in this collection. So it's a great filler piece when you're doing your displays, but again, you can make it small or you can keep going and make it big. And I will show you how to do that later on. And then we have our champagne rose. And this one as well has its foliage, but you'll notice that some of the flowers have an extra little dye for them. This is called a calyx. And what you do is when you finish quilling, when you turn over your flower, this covers the workings at the back. So if you're making a buttonhole for a wedding or a flower crown, this covers the mechanism, for want of a better word, of the back of the quilling. So it gives you a nice, neat look and a professional finish. And then that's the dies, but then we move on to this. You get embossing folders in the collection as well. So the first one is Divine Blooms. This one is 3D, and look at this when you flex that. So this is just an inked background. We've run it through the embossing folder, but rubbed it with gilding waxes to bring out the detail. Or you can go simple with just a plain coloured card, and again, add your gilding waxes. This is a copper colour. You can add any colour to it, silvers and golds, depending on your colour theme. But that gives a lovely background to your projects. And then we have, I'll just swap these over a sec. The second embossing folder is the ornate tiles. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. So this kind of mimics the kind of tiles that you would see in a Victorian or an Edwardian, greenhouse or an orangery. So that was the inspiration behind that. And then you will get 2 frames. Now, the beauty about these frames is, number one, they are big enough, to fill the front of a card, but they don't just cut. You cut, you run it back through your machine with your purple embossing mat, and it brings out the dimension of the flowers on the frames. And then you can ink them up to bring out the detail and use it as a stencil. So it's a cut, an emboss, and a stencil die with that. So that's what you get there for the dies and folders. And as Becky mentioned earlier, the papers. Look at these. Each of the flowers has their own custom designed paper pad. And in these pads, we'll pick the lily one up here. Look at this. The inking and colouring is thought out for you. Now, this is the basics. You can add more colour to these if you want, but it's just as a guide. And look at the colours that you will get for your flowers, for them to make it more realistic. And each of the pads also has its own greenery pad. So picking up the champagne rose one here, you'll see there's different tones in them. They're specifically designed for each flower, but you can play around with these and you can use them in any way that you want, or even use them for sentiment dyes. Look at the gorgeous ombre in that. So not just for your flowers, but you can also use them for your thin strip dyes, your thin strip embossing folders, use them with the flowers, or use them as background papers in your creations as well. So there's 6 pads there. And each, as I said, is custom designed, but you can use them with, mix and match them with any of the flowers.
There's such a brilliant range there, isn't there? And the great thing is with those papers too, you are getting 180 sheets, but you can fit more than one flower on a page on occasion. So that is like a minimum, really, of 180 standout pieces that you've got here. I've got so many messages coming through for you already. Susan is in from the UK saying hello to Sharon. I have got Jacinta, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and saying hello from Kilkenny and hi to Sharon. I've got Mrs. A's Crabs saying good morning from Alabama. I've got Susie, our social superstar, saying lovely to see you, Sharon. You look beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
I'm feeling a little bit ragged, to be honest, but it's nice to get the compliment.
Well, it's not showing. It is not showing. Jeffrey's in from New Hampshire saying hello, Sharon, social superstars, and myself. There's absolutely loads of you. I really like this one. Mary Lee is saying hello, Becky and Sharon from Colorado. I love Sharon's beautiful fairies and also her frames with the hidden bees and other things. And that's in from Mary Lee. Do message in if you've got any of Sharon's items. Which ones really stand out for you? What do you love the most? Have you made anything special? Are you working with them right now? Do feel free to message us in and let us know. Just as a quick reminder, everything on your screen today, $99.99 or $123.65. Should we dive on into some inspiration? Let's do it. What are we looking at first, Sharon?
Right, well, I want to show you the concept, and I'm going to use the champagne rose dye and foliage for this, because once you learn to make one flower, any flower dye in the ranges, I'm not just talking about the garden flowers, I'm talking about the succulents and the flower fairies. Once you learn one flower, all of them follow the same method. So really, it's just so easy to do. So what I'll explain with the concept as well, because quilling, some people hear quilling and they think of, you know, the thin little strips, but quilling has expanded beyond that now over the past few years. So these flowers are technically quilling dyes. So if you've been quilling for years, these are for you as well.
Perfect.
So I have this champagne rose and I have the paper pad. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out 2 strips. So I'm going to take out, see, it's a well-used pad, as you can see. So I'm going to take out green for the foliage. But then for the champagne rose, I absolutely adore the yellow and orange burst. Now, when you look at this sheet, you'll notice that there's a lighter colour down the centre, but it's darker at the tips. Now, you can use this in 2 ways. Generally, I prefer to place the dye down the centre of the page. So that means when you cut this out, you've got a light petal at the tip, middle, but it darkens as it gets to the tip, and that's how you get the dimension of the flower. If you want to be savvy and spare your pages a bit, some of these dyes will actually, you'll get 2 cuts to a page. You still get the orange and yellow effect, so you can put it here, and when that cuts out, then you can get another one from here. But I'm going to be, for want of a better word to be saying in Ireland, flahulach. And that means just going for it.
I've not heard that. You know? Brilliant. Go for it.
Being flahulach is basically, you know, doesn't matter what the cost or what you use, we're going all in.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit, just because I'm cutting the foliage at the same time. Okay? So put a bit of tape on it to stop it moving, but pop it down there on your page. And then we have our foliage. So I'm going to trim this off a little bit as well, just so that they both fit on the plate. So keep these sheets as well, you know, for your own little quilling strips, or you can cut a sentiment out of that as well. So nothing will go to waste in these pads. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this through the Gemini. Becky. Now.
And is that your Gemini Junior, is it?
No, I've got the big Gemini for this.
Right, perfect. The big one's out.
I'm using the Gemini Junior plates.
Great.
Because what I find is, right, you can turn them sideways into the Gemini, the small plates, and it goes through a bit quicker.
Brilliant.
So
Time
you can
saving.
use the smaller plates on the big one. Right. So pop out that, and you'll see that, look, they just fall out of the dye. So there's no, like, going with your pokey tool and trying to get them out,
Yeah.
They would just rub out. And then, look, just lift that out. And another thing I used to find with quilling dies as well years ago is I would leave more petals behind in the die than I would take out of it. So they just pop out, and that's the way they're designed.
Great.
Okay, so I'll just pop these to the side for a moment. Now, of course, you can cut out a lot more foliage than that. But so a bit of speed here today. Okay, so this is what you're left with, this strip here. And basically, so easy. Now, you can add a little bit of dimension to the petals. I'll do that really quick. And all I'm doing with the ball tool is pressing down the tip of the petal here. Don't pull it. You're going to pull off these. So we're just going all the way down. I'm just pressing it. It just gives it a bit of a raggedy kind of look.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to flip it over. And that might look a bit odd to some people. But when I fold it in half, you'll understand why.
Okay.
So I've shaped that side. And now I'm just repeating the process on this side. Okay, all the way down. Not being very fussy or very neat. But sure, we won't tell anyone. It'll be our secret. So I'm just folding along the perforated line. And look at that. They've joined together.
Lovely.
And because I've pressed on one side and then flipped it in the other, they're now, when it's folded over, they're both cupped the same way.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, for the next part, you can use liquid glue, you can use tape. I'm going to use the red liner tape now. 3mm is best because it doesn't protrude over the edge. It sits nice and neat in there, so you've no residue or stickiness anywhere else. So just put a strip along, and then we give it a little snip off, and then just give it a little press down just to keep it in. And then we fight to get the backing off. Okay, so pop that in, the poke tool. Oh, got it first time. I'm getting better at this. I should be a professional. Okay, and then we are going to quill it. Now, tools that you can use are quilling tool, tweezers, cocktail stick, anything like that you might have.
Okay.
I'm going to use the tweezers today. And starting at the smaller petal, we're going to pop it in here. And again, give that a twist until it catches like that.
Okay.
Now, to protect the first few petals, I'm going to give them a little pinch so that they turn easier. Give it a pinch, turn easier. Now, as I'm rolling, there's barely any pressure on that quilling tool. I'm not pulling it tight. You don't want to do that. So gently just glide it along. And now we're going all the way down to the very end. And then we just finish it off at the back. And then we keep beyond the quilling tool. But now we're going to space out the petals. And look at how gorgeous and cute that is.
Looks great.
And look how
already.
easy that was.
Yeah.
Basing's done for you, aligning done for you. And the thing is, because there's no guesswork or gluing, if you're doing a bouquet or a display with a load of flowers, the first flower is going to look as good as the last one. Okay, so we're going to remove it from the quilling tool, but you don't want it to pull it because you will take the center out. So hold the flower at the back and use your nail or your thumb to push on the back as you pull away the quilling tool.
Okay.
Just like that. And that's our little rose there. Now, I mentioned earlier about some of them have the calyx, the little starry things, or as my son says, why is there a spider from the top of a tomato in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
No, still won't eat them though. Okay, so I'm just shaping these with my thumbnail. You see there the cup. And then we're going to come to the back of the quilling. Now I'm using 3D gel just because it goes right into the workings. Gives you a little bit of extra stability on your flower as well. And then we take our calyx and just place it over the back like that. Of course, we need to let that set. But what that does is, look, it gives you the back of the flower. Doesn't it make it look a lot... Oh, come back, Sharon. It's a lot neater. It covers the workings. So if you're putting a pin through there for a buttonhole, you're not going to see the quilling at all. Right, so flip that over. And then, of course, we have our other foliage. So what we'll do is, we'll just give the petals a little pinch. The good thing about quilling as well, petals can look real stiff and they won't look natural unless you work with them. So you need to manipulate them, you need to twist them, use a ball tool. That will give you the best, most natural look for your flowers. And then that's what you'll end up with.
Oh, that looks
your gorgeous little champagne rose.
That is just delightful. And I think it goes to prove the amount of work that Sharon puts into this, because even just having that little case on the back, like if you're like me, as soon as you go and pick something up at a craft fair, what's the first thing you do? You turn it over, don't you? You know, if it's a piece of jewellery, you look at the clasp. If it's a buttonhole, you look at the back. It's always the first thing. So I love that all of that thought and detail has been gone into it. And these really do make absolutely exceptional cards. And I know that Sharon's got a few to show us now.
Yeah, just really quick. I just want to show you what you can achieve, whether it's a card or, look at this. This is actually, and we did this on the last show, it's a gift card holder.
So cute.
So all that is a regular card, just fold the bottom over, glue either side, close it over. Quickest gift card holder you'll ever make. But look at this. So that's our ranunculus there. That is our tea rose, and that's our lily on that. And look at that. You know, I mean, that is actually an heirloom, a keepsake. If somebody was to get this from you, they'll keep that on display. Or how about taking it up a level? We also, this is the Rose Bliss frame that I was talking about.
Beautiful.
But look at the center of this. We've just created another panel. I'm just trying to get the dimension. There we go.
Ah, the emboss.
You'll see it. Look at that. Create another panel on top. And then we've got sentiments and butterflies added. This is from the Butterflies and Blooms collection. So again, these cross-pollinate over. And then we've our ranunculus there. And then the other frame there, look at this. This is the mountain peony and the orchid. And again, you don't always have to use white with your frames. You can, and this is just texture cardstock. And these are the Midas ink pads, just dabbed on it.
Lovely.
And using up your scraps of paper. And then again, here is another one with the Rose Bliss flame. Another, you know, different color tones, you know, more vintage. And then bringing out the details again, you know, with your inks on that. So it was just to show you, as a collection, you know, how it can work together and what you can achieve and the different tones of papers that you can use in it as well.
And the thing is, with this collection, you can create those pieces that Sharon's just shown you and even more. This is one of those that when you get it, because you've kind of got everything in it, you can just sit and play. And I absolutely love that about these, because it is a really playful thing. You know, you look at it, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's interesting. So if you are treating yourself to this, I know that you are going to be so excited to have this delivered. We have not just got the garden florals on for you today, I've also got some heartfelt greetings, and these have been popular with us. If you love doing colouring, if you love sentiments in your pieces, then you are in the right place. Let me show you the ones that I've got for you today. So within this heartfelt greetings, we're going to be bringing to you 12 different elements. Now that includes sizable dies, and it also includes stamps as well. So we can see here is the lovely Sharon's decided to create this design so you can just mirror the stamps as and where you need them. But also what I do really like about these is where they're attached, bear in mind that this is cut out onto black, there's just a few attachment points. So if you did want to snip away and just use happy birthday, because it's a gorgeous font, isn't it, then you can. I've also got your sending blessings with those butterflies. Then I've got the thinking of you with the daffodils. Then I've also got the thank you with those fabulous roses. Now, Do you love this rose one? Okay, let's do a swap. Purchase this one, and for free, we're going to give you the happy birthday. We're also giving you the sending blessings, and we're giving the thinking of you. This is your time to seize the moment. Normally $14.99 each. Today, $14.99 for all of them. I would say that even if you've got this, but someone's always commenting on how beautiful they are, what about a gift for someone? Or maybe you've only purchased one of them in the past, or you've gifted some away. Now's your chance to treat yourself. These are your heartfelt greetings. And again, 12 elements in total. So let's dive back on in with Sharon's collections. We have got loads on the show today, and I just want to let you know some of them. This is what was mentioned earlier on as someone's favourite. It is your flower fairies. You're getting 78 characters within here. I've done a little video of them and put them on my stories as well if you want to have a little nosy at them closer, but I will show them closer later. We've got the likes of your Astra on there as well. So as well as that, I'm bringing to you the Flower Fairies Jasmine. So this one is your Jasmine selection. So basically you've got to get the flower, aka the jasmine flower, but also the fairy. So you're getting that pair in there. Have you seen that discount? Oh, 70% discount. As well as that, I am bringing to you the Aster. Now, I love Aster. I think she has got such life about her. She's kind of the life and soul of the party, is our Aster. If you've got anyone in your family who is always the first to the dance floor at a wedding, this is the one for them. Lovely Aster with the flower with it as well. So, way up. Hardly any of them ones left, I will be honest with you. A tiny proportion of those ones left, so please do be quick. As well as that, I've got the succulents. Now, this, when it launched, was so incredibly popular. I could not move for craft experts going, oh my gosh, I love it. Have you worked with it yet? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's such a cool selection. And today, again, it is a steal of a deal. You don't need a swag bag though. It's just there for you today. It's $28.71 or $39.08 for that whole collection. Again, we'll chat about it later, but trust me, these are smile-inducing pieces. I'm then going to bring to you the From the Heart. Now, this is a stamp collection. And these are really, really lovely sentiments and really thoughtful stamps. And it's not just words. You're getting really cool like textures in here. Great for mixed media. $10.99 on those ones or $13.99. A limited stock now on the butterflies and blooms. Now, limited stock. So again, it's kind of a seize the moment deal. Once it's gone, so please do treat yourself to it. It's buy one, get three for free. And it is a stunning collection, especially if you love that kind of kaleidoscopic element and aspect to your butterflies. This is definitely a one for you. So a massive collection that we've got for you. We will chat more about all of those items we've seen as the show goes on. I just wanted to let you know that that's what's coming up. Don't forget, if you want to see something or you've got any questions for the lovely Sharon, then do feel free to message us in. Plenty of people just absolutely adoring these. Mary Lee saying Sharon's dies for quilling flowers are so easy to use. They're so well thought out. Being able to fold the petal strips in half is a game changer. Thank you, Sharon. That's in from Mary Lee. Mary Pat saying, what a gorgeous card. Mary says, I love the rose, Sharon. Margaret saying, beautiful, Sharon. Now I know where I went wrong when I was trying to do the rose. I wasn't pinching the first few petals. There you go, Margaret. Also, pinching the petals makes it easier, but I think it makes it look a bit more realistic as well, actually. Loads of you in, keep those messages coming in. You know how to get social. Right, Sharon, we're back with you. We're chatting garden florals. What are we looking at next?
So we're going to use the ranunculus plant now, or flower. I keep saying plant, flower. Now, but we're going to take our dimension of the flower up a little bit, right? Okay. So what I've done is I've already cut two strips. Now, one is in the pale pink tone, and then we've got one, so that's the paler pink tone, and then we have the purple.
Ah, great.
So I've cut one from each of those. But before I fold and quill these, I'm going to take out my embossing folder and I'm going to pop them through.
Oh.
So this is another way. Now, because the 3D embossing folder, it will push the design front and back. So when you fold it in half, don't worry, it will still look really dimensional. So we're going to pop that through. So
I'm excited to see this.
it's nice. Okay, so we've popped that through. So it just shows, now while it's still on the embossing folder, I'll just try. Now look at that.
Wow.
Look at what it does.
Wow. That's
So
beautiful.
it just gives it another point of interest to your flowers. Now you can go ahead and you can add inks and whatever you need to it, but I'm just going to go ahead and quill these up. And what I'm going to do is, because I've done 2 strips, now just pop that down, okay, and then we'll fold the other one. I'm going to show you how you can make the bigger flower. So same method as we've done for the other flower. It's you cut it, you fold it, and you roll it. Right, so lay them down. I'm going to add the red liner tape again to the back. And like when you're at home and you've got more time, you can use your liquid glue. And a tip for using the liquid glue is only put a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and a little bit at the end. Glue will travel when you're quilling, and if you put too much on, you'll end up with it running down the quilling tool, running down your fingers. You'll get it all over your petals. So it's best, little goes a long way.
Great.
And the best liquid glue I like is the tacky glue.
Okay.
And I get the little bottle with the fine point applicator on top of it.
Great.
So you can control it a lot better.
Great.
Right, so we'll start with the first one. And then we will take off the backing. Okay, remove that. And then we're going to start quilling. And again, we start at the end with the smallest petal. And we just give it a twist. Give a pinch to the first few petals. It just, you know, it stops them falling out. It also hides the center of the quilling. So we have the calyx for underneath, but this will hide the center.
I see.
So give it a little pinch. And because the petals of the ranunculus are quite wide, you'll probably find you're going to pinch them nearly the whole way along the strip. But because we're doing 2 strips, it's best to do that. Right, so that's the first strip done. Give them a little pinch and leave it on the quilling tool. Right, so that's the first one. And then we're going to remove the backing. Now with the 2 tones, it's very effective because it gives you like a dark to light, or you could reverse them and have a light to dark. Now I'm going to find where I ended the last strip and I'm going to start the next one. And don't worry about the smaller petals again, because they're going to be hidden. Now, the way we're going to do it slow, and again, no pressure, don't pull them tight, and then we're going to roll. We're just going to go the whole way to the end. And look what's happening.
Wow.
It's giving you dimension in the petals, it's giving you 2-tone in the colour. Now you can go with a 3rd strip if you want. Keep going.
Oh,
There's no
gorgeous.
way you have to stop if you don't want to. And then we're going to push down the outer petals. But when we get to this one, we're not going down as far because we want it to look kind of closed in the centre. But if I can bring that up, do you see the embossing on the petals?
Yep.
And what that gives. So it's just another way of adding some interest and dimension. And again, to take it off, we just hold at the back, pop with your thumb, and then turn it over. And then we're going to get our calyx for this. And you can use these as well to make flowers. Don't forget, like, you can just cut 3 or 4 of these, you know, pinch up the petals, layer them up. So it's like a flower within a flower.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone around that. And also, if you can see in it, there's a hole. So if you want to thread wire through that as well, it'll cover it.
Great.
So back to our 3D gel. And just put a little bit in that. Or we could put it on the back of it. I'll put a little bit on the back of this too. Okay. And then we pop that down. Give it a wiggle. And then turn it over. And again, it just gives it a nice finish on the back. And then we're going to bring in our foliage. And you'll notice on the foliage, they've got markings and lines. It just makes it easier to pinch them up and manipulate them, you know. So give it a bit of a more natural look, you know, because paper's quite stiff, so you need to play with it. So if your floor displays are looking a bit one-dimensional, it's because you haven't manipulated the paper, you know, added shape to it. And we're going to cross them over. I'm just going to put a bit of 3D gel there. And I'm going to pop that down the center of that. And then we put a little bit more here. Because what I'm going to do then is all the flowers I've made, I'm going to put them on a project. You could sit at home at night just running up a load of flowers, having them in a box, ready to go on your projects. But that's the ranunculus there in the larger one.
That's stunning. Absolutely beautiful. It's like magic, isn't it? Really, it's like magic. So many people of you messaging in. Clark's messaging saying, I love these flower dies. I think I've got to get them all. So that went a bit Pokemon, that didn't it? Gotta catch them all. Anyway, Clark, well done. If you have already got them, nice work. Kathy is saying, this is beautiful. Marge is saying, I'm not good at quilling, but Sharon makes me want to try it again. Well, give it a go if you fancy it. And I'll ask Sharon about that, actually, if she's got any tips to sort of get you into it. Although, as you can see, it's really lovely and easy. Lovely Mary is saying, oh, what a fabulous idea to emboss the flowers, Sharon. Totally love it. Pamela's in saying, oh, game changer, Sharon. Thanks. There's loads of you messaging in, absolutely adoring these. Do keep those messages coming on through. If you've got any questions or anything that you want help with, well, then do get in touch. Popular today, as always, is our flower fairies. I think at this time of year, fairies really do come into their own. Sorry, I'm giggling to myself because I went out for tea with my grandma and granddad the other day. My grandma and granddad, they're in the 90s, and it was mushroom soup was on. And I said to my grandma, I was like, oh, it's mushroom soup. And my grandma went, oh, I don't eat mushrooms. I said, really? She went, yes, I never had since I was young because my mum used to tell me that that's what fairies dance around. So I've never eaten them, which I never knew. Oh, yeah, that's just made me think of that. So if you too don't eat mushrooms because the fairies need a place to dance, then this is most certainly a one for you. These are mythical, these are magical, and what I love about these fairies is even just by looking at their face and their pose, you can sense their personality, but then you have a chance to change that depending on the colours, depending on how you layer these. Because what we've got here is the fabulous fairy herself with these beautiful elements whereby you can add wings or you can add layers to her dress and her outfit, adornments, embellishments galore. I am bringing to you Rose first, and Rose is elegant. Rose has got this beautiful sort of ballerina-esque pose to her. They're on point, absolutely wonderful. You do get the stamps in that as well. I've also got here for you your Jasmine. Jasmine, again, in that beautiful, elegant pose. She seems very free, doesn't she? I feel like she's kind of maybe about to leap from one flower to another. Really lovely details with this. So you've got like the moon stamp in this, which I think is beautiful. You can imagine her sort of frolicking at moonlight, can't you? And then I have Aster, who we absolutely adore. Beautiful flowing locks on Aster. And again, can you see how because of the dies, you can layer this up. There is nothing whatsoever stopping you, maybe not using the fairy wings. If maybe this is going to be for a ballet recital, for example, you can absolutely do that. All of these sets bring to you 78 elements. 78 elements for just $19.99 or $21.99. That is a 70% saving on this one for you. So do seize the moment if these are speaking to you, especially at this time of year, which I just feel is definitely a fairy time of year, perfect time for them to go out and trip the light fantastic, as we'd say up north. It just means dancing. So you have got the fabulous fairies there. If you would like to treat yourself, now is your chance. I've also got your From the Heart stamps. Now, in this collection, you are getting absolutely loads and loads of, it's not just sentiments, it's like textures as well, which if you do like doing mixed media, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with these. And there's lots of different areas where you can pair them up as well. So, I have got for you Friendship first off. It's a wonderful font, lovely feel to these. And if you are new and you've not worked with stamps before, basically it gives you this professional finish every single time, and it's really quick to do. So you've got some wonderful sort of bird motifs here. You've got sort of the swallow at this side. You've got almost the hummingbird or the kingfisher over here. I'm also bringing to you your happiness, which has got butterflies within it, which actually pair up really nicely with some of the embossing folders that we brought to you in that set. You've also got your florals. Then I've got your laughter. This one's a really fun feeling one. You've got those almost bubbles within there too. You've also got the smile in there. Then I have got your wonderful, this one's got your cupcake on it, and you've even got sprinkles in here. So those sprinkles, perfect to go atop your cupcake, but actually, how great are they also for mixed media, you know? It does almost look like confetti falling down, doesn't it? You have got lots of little accents, let's say, on there. And last but by no means least, I've got your beautiful, the fabulous bow detail, those flowers as well, those tendrils that you can actually add to your designs to add that extra depth. Again, all of these ones today, just $10.99 or $13.99, which for the amount you're getting. And do you know what? For their usability, that's a really good price. So if you do want to seize the moment, now is most certainly your chance. Let's chat garden florals again, shall we? Bringing to you our garden florals collection, which is one of our biggest collections of the show. It is jam-packed, filled with goodies that will create fantastic 3D flowers. In here, you're going to get 26 dies, 2 embossing folders, and you are getting the lovely frame designs with the 80 sheets of paper as well in there. So absolutely loads of fun to be had with these ones if you do want to seize the moment. Let's head back on over to Sharon, because I can see some interesting looking treats in front of you.
Right, so we're moving on now to the orchid. And I know from comments of people online, when they saw this die, they said, there's no way I can make an orchid from this. But when they got it, they went, I can't believe I've done this. I've made an orchid. Yeah. It looks tricky, but it is just as simple as the other flowers, because the design of the die has done the thinking and working for you and the spacing. So you'll see how easy it is. But we're going to take this up a little notch, and I'll show you how to add wire to your flowers. So if you want to put them in a display, how you can get your wire to stay in your flower.
Great.
Okay. So I've cut out from the orchid paper. So I love this pad with the orange and the yellows and the pinks and the tones in this. So that's what I've used here. So I basically just put the die down the center, and then I cut it out. Now, a tip, you might have seen earlier one of my dies, I had writing on the back, because I've made that many flower dies, and they're all on magnetic sheets. I get a Sharpie pen and I write the die name on the back.
Clever. And
you should do that so you don't mix them up, and you can keep the foliage together as well. Just a little tip there for keeping everything in order.
Great.
Okay, so we've cut out this, and it looks like a clarinet of some sort. So you'll notice that it has center stamen here, the ridge, but it also has these small petals here. And I'm going to add a little bit of colour to those with my tri-blend.
Right.
So as I said, the paper colour is a starting point. Don't be afraid to take out your pens, your glitters, just to add a little bit extra to it. So I'm going to go kind of light with this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the ridge here and just add a little bit of orange. Now on this, I'm colouring both sides. And then with these petals, just add a little to each one. Be careful, don't press hard because you'll pull them off. Now you can do this with your pens. You can do them with your ink dauber. So I'm just going to use the pen. And then so just go along. And then we're going to flip it over. And then just do the other side. So along here. And it doesn't have to be 100% either, because we all know flowers vary. So if anybody says anything, you just say, I was going for the au naturel look. Okay, right, so that's it. We've just coloured them in. The orange, pop that cap back on. And then we are going to take the petals here. So because it's such a wide petal, with orchids, if you look at them, they tend to curve in a bit, and it's so easy to do. So just the 3 round ones here, we're going to just go around the edge like that. And already you can see it's lifted. That's all you have to do. Flip it over and then go around that edge. Let it move with the pad. If you try and hold it in place, you might rip it off.
Okay.
Okay. That's all you have to do. And then we're going to fold it along the center line. As I said, all the alignment is done for you. Okay, and this is what you're left with then. So it looks like, I mean, if you look at it that way, it looks like a rows of trees.
Lovely.
Little trees, you know, do it in the background. Okay, so we're going to just give that little pinch along before I put on the red liner tape again. So the 3 mil. And we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And as I said, if you don't have a tweezers or, excuse me, a quilling tool, you can use tweezers for this, or a cocktail stick or something. Or even your pokey tool, because it's red liner tape, and then you can pull it out at the end. And if by chance you're using a thicker card and you have a quilling tool and it doesn't fit, get your pokey tool to your quilling tool in the middle and just widen the prongs. So you can do that as well. So don't be afraid, it won't break. Right, so we're popping on to start. So the first part is quite quick. So we're just working our way down to there. Now, you'll see the first small petal come around, but we need to concentrate on the bigger one. And we're going to give it a pinch, like before, just to help it. So you can just basically ignore the smaller straight ones. Concentrate on the bigger ones to make sure that they come around. And then when you come near the end, then you can just bring that around. And then you'll see the magic. So while it's on the quilling tool, we're going to move these ones first. 1, 2, 3, because they go in the background. Now, move 1 to the side, 1 to the side, but you need to bring the back one forward and just tuck it up. But that's the only tricky part. But that's your orchid. Straight away, alignment's done for you. You don't have to worry about placement. The way the die is designed, it takes it out. And there you go. You just spread out your center petals. And again, with the others, you put it off. Now, what I'm after doing is forgetting to put the wire in. So really quickly, all you do, I have another die cut here. So when you have it folded here, and when you have the red liner tape on, this is so quick. Right, so put on the red liner. And then take off the backing. Pick that up. Now, you just get a piece of wire. So these are in flower shops, craft shops, art shops. But we're cutting it about, I'll tell you exactly how much I cut that one now.
Okay.
So that's 6 inches.
Right.
You're just going to go to the top and you need to make a hook. Now, make sure there's an opening, that the tip of it isn't hitting the remainder, because you need to use this to hook on. So if you can see that?
Yes, like a little crook.
There's space. Yeah. Well, all you do is get your pieces normal, put on your quilling tool, just give it 2 turns. But then we're going to get our wire with the hook. And we're just hooking it over. Holding it with the quilling tool. And just keep them together the whole way around.
Easy.
And then you just go. You just go the whole way down. Again, pinching the bigger petals. And we go down again. And then we just bring that around.
Fab.
And then again, we're just pushing out and then spreading out those 2. And as you see how quick that was to make as well.
Yeah.
And it looks identical to that
Fab.
in the spacing. And that's what I mean about your first to last flower will look the same because of the mechanism. So we turn this over again, let go of the wire, but grab your quilling tool. Make sure you don't pull the wire out. And again, we're just going to pop it off, but the wire is there.
Just wonderful.
And I'm going to hold this and then see which way it's orientated and point this down.
Great.
So our flower is now there. And then we can just add our foliage. So again, make sure with all your foliage, you play around with it, fold it on any creases that are there, you know, twist it, just to give it a more natural look. And then we're going to just use, again, I love the 3D gel. Of course, it takes a little while to dry, but it is worth it. And then we're just going to pop it on the back. Or you can get a piece here and you can get your pokey tool, pop a little hole in it, like that. And then you can thread it up the wire to the back as well.
Great.
And sit that on the bottom. So that's how easy it is to add wire. And you can do that with all of the flowers as well.
That is
That's
just wonderful. And Jill, I love as well, holding those 2 next to each other, you can see, even just with the colouring, although you can see they're the same flower, the personality of them is so completely different.
So different, yeah. Just adding little touches to it. So don't be afraid to add your own personality and your own touch to it, your own colours.
Yeah. And dependent on your own mood as well, or what event it's for. It's brilliant. Oh, I just love it. So many people messaging in. Lorraine is saying, I have 2 of the flower fairies, which are gorgeous. I just had to order the succulent collection and the butterfly collection. The fairies made me do it. Lorraine, I love it. I had to get the succulents and the butterflies because of the fairies, and I completely agree with you. Those mischievous fairies, but you're going to be so chuffed that they suggested you do. Now, I will just let you know, I've got my butterflies in blooms now, and Lorraine, you're going to be well happy you got them, because I have got less than 40 of these available in the world, on the planet, in this galaxy. It's true though. I mean, that sounds ginormous, but it's true. That's as many as we've got. Sorry, my director's just gone. You don't know what's out there. Okay. Yeah, all right. I suppose somewhere in the galaxy there might be another set of these, but to our knowledge, we have got less than 40 available. I want to run through them for you because I don't want anyone to miss out on these, especially as that offer is absolutely incredible. It's a buy one, get three for free. So even if, right, let's say you wanted to get this on speedy delivery and you paid for the delivery, it's still like you're not paying for all of these. It's like you're getting, you know, free delivery and a discount still, if that makes sense. That's why I like to think about these things. Let me bring to you the butterflies and blooms right now, because I am bringing to you a big collection. I'll just show you this one first off, because this is a board. This is one of the examples that I've got for you of how it looks. So you have your mariposa here, which is that beautiful butterfly, and you can see the different dyes and how they kind of work in together to create different elements. I'll show you the packaging now, because I haven't got the rest of them. But yeah, you can see you are going to be getting a handmade card with butterflies, with different florals, with different personality, that's going to create a really special effect. I will point out that larger packets like this, we've also got stamps with them, just as a little reminder on that. So it's a really big collection that you get in here. To buy one, get three for free kind of offer that I'm bringing to you now. So a real special chance for you to enjoy. It's $12.99 or $16.95. Lorraine, you mentioned that the fairies made you buy the succulents today. I doubt you're going to be alone. If you haven't seen these before, this is very, very, very special. Actually, I've got to share this with you. I read this a minute or two ago. Where's the message gone? Here it is. Susie says, I bought the succulent collection when it launched. I love it so much. My daughter and I made a bunch of the succulents and put them in little glasses with some fancy rocks at the bottom, and her teacher and gave them to her teachers, who put them on their desks. They loved them. What a beautiful gift, like an end of term thank you gift for your teachers. Better than an apple, isn't it? Lasts longer as well. We have got for you the succulent collection. Now in here, you're going to be getting 13 pieces. Succulents for homeware, still very much in right now. I'm just going to really quickly dash through your elements, and then we'll have a little nosy at some inspiration with the fabulous Sharon. So these are the details that you are getting. These are the fabulous treasures that you are getting your hands on here. We have got for you layers of different succulents, including, that was your baby aloe. This is your neon breaker as well, which just looks fantastic when it's all 3D. I'm bringing to you your jade plant as well, which gives, it goes in a different sort of direction. It kind of plumes upwards as opposed to outward. You'll see properly when Sharon chats you through it, but it adds great dimension. If you've ever looked at something and gone, do you know what this could do with a little bit of height? As well as that, for height, I've got for you your swordgrass. This is one of the most popular selling succulents, and I don't just mean in this collection, I mean actually out there. So if anyone at home does have succulents, I bet they'll have this in their little terrarium. And then we've also got your Merry Maiden as well, which most certainly is merry. Now, the thing about these is they create something which is bang on trend, something that is easy to use, something that, dependent on the colour and how you put them, do you put them on a card? Are you like Susie? Do you put them in a little glass gift box or whatever it might be? Whatever you do with these, if you were to make and sell them, depending on what you did, that could be a sell one and you've made a profit. Do you know what I mean? With your makes, that is an incredible prize. It really, truly is. These are popular for homeware. How many times have you been into like a snazzy restaurant recently and seen like succulents around? It's very in. So if you do want to seize the moment, seize it whilst it's quite frankly a steal deal. Should we have a look at some examples with Sharon? Let's have a nosy.
Yeah, like this collection, you know, it's not just homeware, it's for cards, it's for scrapbooking. And as I said, with other materials, you can create gorgeous wind chimes for your garden. You can use it on acetate, you know, and put a little battery operated tea light in the center. You know, it's just so fun. Lovely. But I have a couple of examples here from the design team, what they've done with them. Because not only do you get the plants, you know, you get stamps as well. Yes. So create your background papers. But look at this. This is the Merry Maiden, and you have the baby aloe here, but look at the swordgrass. Now, with the swordgrass, you can use that as backgrounds for any project. You could even create frill and tassels with it.
Great.
So, play around with them, with your imagination. But as I said, these are some cards that they've made. So look at that there. That one there has the plant pot tabs on it as well, and the stamp especially for you. How about this? It's got in the background one of the embossing folders from the terrarium. The stamps have been used with the outline dies to create extra elements for it. And as Becky said earlier, the jade. Now, when you look at the die for that, you will notice that the center spine is wider than any of the other plants. And all you have to do, quilling that, is instead of putting your quilling sheet straight and your quilling tool at 90 degrees, turn your quilling tool to 45 degrees. And when you twirl it, quill it, spiral the card and paper down your quilling tool, and that gives you height. So there are videos from past craft house shows on my YouTube channel that show you exactly how to do that as well. So you can pop on and have a look at those. Then we have, look, this is every element from the collection is in this card. I absolutely love it. Stamps were used to create the background. Stamps and outline dies were used to create the flowers and the backgrounds for that. The embossing folder was used on the plant pot. We've got our plant pot labels and poke. The other embossing folder here to create the background. And of course, we have our succulents. Look at that. That's everything. That's an all-in-one card. That's absolutely gorgeous. And I tell you who that was done by. That was done by Alison on the design team. I absolutely love it. How about creating a frame? So if you get your frame dies that you will have, look at that. Look at that for a gorgeous gift. You can create that for home decor. And again, it's got everything in the collection there. Or then, quite simply, you can just use your plant pot, curve it, with your 3D gel or foam pads, create your plants, stick them in the background, and that's just a gorgeous little card for someone, or pop it in a frame. And people could put that up on their wall. It's absolutely versatile all year round for any occasion and any friend, family member.
I just adore the versatility of these and how much fun you can have with them, actually pairing them up with other collections that you've got. And I bet, Margaret, you're going to be pairing things up, because Margaret has said, amazing, Sharon. I have everything of yours that is on today's show. I just love your things. Margaret, that's fantastic. I'm glad that you've treated yourself to everything. If you haven't treated yourself to things yet, do absolutely feel free to, such as Clark, who said, sorry, I had to step away and place my order. I've just had to have those flowers. Beautiful creations. Thank you, Sharon. Mary Pat is saying these demos are excellent. There's just loads of love coming in for these. So if you are treating yourself, congratulations. It is the sensational succulents that we're talking about right now, and you're getting those 13-piece elements alongside them with the 45 sort of added extras, if you will, with your stamps and all of the rest of it. So now let's have a natter about aqua blends, because we have got something here which has a lot of lovely natural colours within it that actually can be quite muted, which may well work out quite nicely if you're planning on doing backgrounds, for example, with the succulents. Now, these aqua blend pencils are high quality, artist quality, highly pigmented, water-soluble pencils. Well, what on earth does that mean? It means you're getting a range of colours. The colours are strong and bold, but by simply using water, so no special sort of mixing medium needed, by simply using water, you can create fabulous watercolour designs with more precision. Because I don't know about you, my dad's an art teacher and I have worked with watercolours for many a year, but one of the things that's hard with them is control, right? They go everywhere. You do a wet on wet technique and good luck trying to organise that. It's like herding cats. But with these, you have the opportunity to have that precision. Now, these, if you have got our aqua blends, you've already got these colours, you might think, hang on, I've not got portrait collection. We've just done like new configurations of them, but you will have all of these colours, just to let you know. So these are the colours that I'm bringing in the whole collection for you. You're getting 4 packs, which equals 96 high quality pencils throughout. And I'll just show you the packaging just so you know exactly. These are the different colours that you're getting in each pack. They all work beautifully blended together, and you can use these in many different designs. And whether it's very specific, like drawings that you're doing, or if it's a little bit more abstract, you can do it all with these. So do seize the moment, because today you're saving nearly £25 or nearly $30, and it will go really nicely as well with the likes of your florals too. Whilst we are speaking of these ones, actually I have had a question in for Sharon, just asking about the quilled flowers. Marge is just saying, Sharon, what weight paper would you suggest to use with the quilled flowers?
Okay, it will depend on what you want to do with your quilled flowers. If it's something you're going to put on a card, I would say 180 GSM, up to 300. Wow. So I've used the textured cardstock and I've used 180 GSM, so anything in between. That makes them sturdy and robust. So if you're putting it in a box that you've made or a box envelope, you know, they'll be perfect. So if you want to save on your cardstock and go a little bit cheaper on it, you can actually use photocopier paper. There's no problem. But what I will say is, the lighter the paper, if you quill tight with that, you'll end up with your petals with all on left and right. You'll have gaps front and back because you're not getting the curve. So definitely I think the thicker the better. So for me, my preference is 180 and above.
That's wonderful. Thank you for answering that. I hope that helped you. Lovely. Marge, loads of you talking today. Margaret is saying, I love listening to Sharon. Her accent is like my father's used to be, so gentle and soothing. Oh, I feel like Sharon's bringing us a lot of soothing energy today, especially with her creations.
I've never been called gentle and soothing.
I love that. No, well, it's a first for everything today.
Yeah. My father used to say, you've got a voice that can cut concrete.
I love that. It's projecting. Now we are going to be looking at how we can do a little bit of extra creation with these. So, Sharon, what are we looking at next?
Well, in the collection, we saw that we have some frames as well. So I'm going to create with the frame, and then we'll bring the flowers we've made so far and do a lovely little card with those.
Great.
So what I have is the Rose Bliss frame. Now with this, as I said earlier, you cut, you put it back through the Gemini with your embossing pad to bring out the dimension, and then we're going to ink it. So just have some all-purpose card here. I've just cut it to size. Now I'm just going to use some tape on this just to hold it in place. And then we're going to run this through the Gemini. But what we have to do then is ensure that we keep it in the frame. Right, so we'll pop that through. And it's a little bit quicker using the smaller plates and the bigger machine. Okay, so when we take it out, there'll be a bit of static there. So we have to be careful. So I'm sliding off the top plate, and then I can hold that in place. Now, what I need to do is, because I'm going to be using the purple embossing mat, I need to take out the magnetic mat. So hold this here, and then pull your mat out with the other hand. It just stops it from leaving the frame. And then we put the embossing mat on. Now, some people prefer to take out the plastic shim and leave in the magnetic sheet. And I've used both methods, to be honest, and got the same result. Because these dies themselves are quite thin. It may not work with some of the other Crafters Companion dies,
okay.
Leaving in the magnetic shim. So just to be aware of that.
Okay.
Okay, so now here we go. Again, there'll be a bit of static there. So pop that away. And then don't just lift off the pad, peel it off. So roll it back like that. And it'll take away some of the excess waste as well. And then remove the other pads. Right. So now we're left with our die cut, and I'm going to flip it over. Now this is all waste, but I'm leaving it on while I'm inking. It just keeps my pad clean. So by embossing, it's pushed the paper up a little bit through the roses here. So we're going to add our inks, and I'm going to do a little bit of two-tone on this. So I've got my Harmony Water Reactive Plum, and we're going to go with Lemon Tonic as well. So I'm going to do the plum down the bottom and the Lemon Tonic on the top. So I'm going to start with the lightest colour first.
Okay.
Because it's easier then to put dark over light than the other way. But I'm just dabbing up here a bit. But I'm going to go the other side as well. So I'm going to mirror it. Now for other colours on the leaves and petals, we have to take the die cut out. This is just for the rose. And then we're going to come in with the plum jam. And then we're going to just dab here. Not going too heavy. I don't want it oversaturated either. Right. And then just bringing it up to the Lemon Tonic. And they kind of blend into each other. And I don't know if you can see that, but they go, when the plum hits the lemon, you get an orange.
Lovely.
So in effect, you've got 3 tones in the middle there. So it's playing around with colour as well, new great effects. Okay, we're ready now to remove that from the die. So we're going to remove the tape on both sides, or just pull that out. Right, so that's the waste. So that goes in the bin. And then we lift up this. And you see how easy it'll lift out of the frame as well. Now, your die is mucky now, so be careful where you put it, but you do need to clean that. Okay, so this is our die cut, and I'm just going to flip it over. And can you see that?
Wow! Gorgeous.
Look at the effect. And as I said, your plum with your Lemon Tonic, when they meet, you get this orange tone in the centre.
It's like a
So
sunset.
I just love those tones together.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And then I'm just going to flick out the excess. Now, of course, you can use your removal tool, but Sharon is being lazy today. Okay, so I'm popping it on my messy mat because I want to add a little bit of green to where the petals are. Now, you can use small daubers or your pad. I'm just going to use the pad. And this is the grasshopper. And I'm just going to dab a little bit on the petals. Like I said, not too much. I just want to bring out the colour. I don't want to make too much of a feature of it. So we're just going there. And that's all I'm going to add to that.
Okay.
And that, I think, is just absolutely vibrant, and it really lifts it. Okay, so this is our die cut. And just so you can see
lovely.
a little bit better what I'm going to do next, I'm just bringing in some black card. There we go, that's a bit better.
That looks amazing.
Now, what I also did was I cut out a second one, and I took the centre out. So it's only joined in a few little places that it's easy to snip. So I've taken out the centre and put that through the embossing folder here. And I'm going to put foam pads on that, and I'm going to add another layer. So that just gives it more.
Fab.
I'm going to keep this then, put a photo in the centre. You've got a frame with a blank centre as well.
Lovely.
So again, you've got more. Or cut off the frame and you've got little roses as well for toppers.
Great.
So there's lots of value in these if you just play around with them, snip at them and take them apart. And I think that's the fun part about dies like that.
Beautiful.
So we'll go back here to this, and I'm going to add a bit of life to this. So I think we will use the pink, the plum jam, and whatever is on the pad. I'm not going to add any more because I'm just going to flick the edge because I want that to lift when I put it down on the background, because we'll be adding a sentiment to the centre.
Okay.
Okay. And that's all I'm adding. It's apologies for my lights; they're quite harsh, but maybe you might see it there.
Yes, you can.
There's
Yeah.
a little bit of pink around the edge.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, now you could add more if you want. I'm trying to be gentle and subtle for a change.
I've just had a quick question in from Margaret. She's just asking, what embossing folders did you use for that background and the flower you did earlier?
That is the, I'll get you the board here now, it'll just be easier so you can see it. There you go. It's called Divine Blooms.
Beautiful. And it's part
So
of
look
this
at that
collection that's on screen right now.
There, is that better?
Fabulous. Yeah, you can see that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I'm using this with the garden flowers, but use it with the flower fairies. You can even use it with the succulents.
Great.
So mix and match across the collections, because when I design, I'm thinking, how will I get better value out of everything in my collection? And the only way you can get that is if something works together. And
Definitely.
the paper pads for the garden flowers, particularly the ranunculus and the orchid, are fabulous for the succulents as well. So if there's no paper pads left for the succulents, you can use the garden flower pads.
Great.
Okay, so just line that up now. And that is our topper.
Wow.
And then I've got the Thinking of You sentiment. That is from the Butterflies and Blooms.
Great. Very low stock on that right now.
All right. And I'm going to pop that in the center. And then really quickly, all I've done is I've got a card and cut it down the center to remove a panel. And then we get our tape pins. And then just add this in here. Pop that down. Pay attention, 007. There we go.
Callis. Sharon Callis.
License to quill.
Oh my gosh! All of the yes. Amazing.
Lethal arm. Lethal. Right. So our panels. And then I'm going to fix this in the center. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue from the tape pen down here. Pop that there. Okay. So that gives us our panel.
Oh, lovely.
And then we're going to bring in the flowers that we made earlier. So I'll bring in the ranunculus. We'll bring in an orchid. And what else will I bring in? Yeah, the little champagne rose. So we're just going to pop a couple of these on around. 3D gel. Okay, so we'll put because the ranunculus is quite heavy, I'm going to put that here.
Okay.
Because if I put that at the top, I think the card would topple over on itself. And then we're going to put the orchid up the other side, just tucked under, and put our little champagne rose beside it.
Oh.
Underneath. And there you go.
I mean, really. Isn't that stunning? I mean, it's how quick it is, because for all intents and purposes, the bits that you might classify as the tricky bits that aren't really, like the things that aren't the mat and layering, you've seen Sharon do them in the show, and you've seen how quick it was to just run that through, a bit of ink here, but the wow factor is like wow factor. That's the type of one that if you, I don't know if anyone else does this, but you know, if you're like gifting someone a card for something and then you nip over to their house the next week and you're like, they still got that card up? I bet they do. That's the type that you would go over again and again and again. All of the other event cards have disappeared, but yours is still focused in the centre. I think it is absolutely stunning. And one thing I do want to mention is Beth. Beth has just said, Sharon Callis is one of my favourite designers. I couldn't resist these at that fabulous price point. And I have to completely and absolutely agree with you there, Beth. The price point in particular is mind-boggling. I just want to remind you, you're getting 26 dies, you're getting 2 embossing folders, you're getting 180 sheets of paper, which is about, that's 5 pads, isn't it? 30? Yeah. So actually you're getting, if we were to break it down to say a full pad of paper, you're getting 34 elements within this in total. At that price, it's about £2.95 per item. Or even in dollars, it's about $3.60. not even $3.60. And think about how many times you will use these over and over again. When's the last time you walked into a craft shop and saw like a pack of, say, 5 paper flowers like this for 3 or 4 quid? You can make them over and over and over again, which is probably why this is such a popular collection. It is busy. So I want to give you a moment, and I will be honest with you because I always am. We are so low in stock on some items like the butterflies and blooms. We need to, in the break, have a little double check that we've actually got some left. And if we do, I will give you a top up on it, because last look we had less than 35. So we're going to do that. If you've got anything in your basket, please do check it out, because that way you know it's yours. And if you've got any questions, get them in. Whilst you're checking out your baskets, have a little peruse of this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Hey up, you are loving the butterflies in blooms. We have officially, before we popped our toe into the pond of Last Chance Saloon, but now with this, our whole lower half is in this pond of Last Chance Saloon. In fact, if this were the Last Chance Saloon, your horse would be parked outside, the bell would have rung because it's last orders. I am bringing to you your Butterflies and Bloom, the final furlong now. We have got 44 elements in total within the collection. There's absolutely oodles in here. I'm talking stamps, I'm talking dies. I'll really quickly whip through the packs for you, and then we'll have a little look at some makes, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows exactly what they're getting. So we have got beautiful dies which you can use and work and layer. You can use individually. There are also within this the different butterflies, but you're also getting different stamps in here that will add adornment, add creativity, but also create more detail to go in with your dies. There's absolutely oodles upon oodles in here. It's your final chance. The bell has rung. Get yourself a gin and treat yourself to these ones whilst you can. It's $12.99 for 44 elements, so definitely worth a treat. Let's head on over to the lovely Sharon now so we can take a closer look at these. These are beautiful, Sharon.
Right. Everybody loves butterflies, but how many times have you gone out to buy a butterfly die or a butterfly stamp where you just get the basic butterfly, the basic stamp, but how often do you get them two together that they match? And in this collection, you will get your stamps, your dies, and they'll all coordinate together. But not only do you get the butterfly die, you will get layers to your butterfly die, and your butterfly wings are kinetic, so they actually move and lift up. So as you can see here from the board, just really quick, in your pack, you will get 3 dies. Your first die will create your background. Your second die will give you this gorgeous filigree frame that has little flowers on it. Add your gems, add your pearls, add your Spectrum Noir pens and inks to that. Then you'll see here, your cutout is this. That's actually waste, but you can use that as a background to the main butterfly itself. And as I said, these wings will lift up. Look at that.
Gorgeous.
So you're not just getting a butterfly die, you are getting a system. And it's the same with, so that was Mariposa, and then you also get Vanessa. Again, you get your mat, you get your floor layer frame, you will get the actual wastage from this gives you your background for your main butterfly. And just to show you what you can achieve with these, look at this.
Yes.
Isn't this absolutely fabulous?
Wow.
Now this is just quite simply mirror card in the background. Cut out your frame in white, distress it with your ink pads, pop it down, then leave out the waistcut if you want, and then you just add your butterfly to that. Look at the wings lifting. And in the center here, from your stamps, is another little butterfly. So you've got a 3-layer butterfly there, and of course you have your sentiment.
Gorgeous.
Or how about just using the stamps with their outline dies?
Lovely.
Look at this. Create layers, add your inks, add them to your wash backgrounds, decorate your papers with your stamps as well, and you've got your sentiments. And then here is Mariposa. Look at this. Create a gorgeous topper stepper card with this, using the background as your base. Again, this is just quite simple. With your white cardstock, use it with your colored cardstock. But when you have, now you saw me earlier with the rose in the Rose Bliss frame, you can do the same technique of embossing and inking with the butterflies. Look at that. Add a little bit of color to it. Lift up the wings there, and then add your flowers and your pads. Go glam. Here it is, just quite simple. Purple and gold. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous?
Stunning.
So imagine that for a party or for a wedding or something for somebody. Very, very simply done. And then go vintage chic. Again, use your craft card. But in here you'll see, you know, you've added your little gems to the floral details. Ink that up. And then, look, I love this. This is going totally different tones again. You know, for your grungies and your steampunks as well. For mail cards. Ooh, I was a little bit overzealous with that one. And use this. Look, the waist at the back is there, as I was saying earlier.
Right.
So that gives another layer to your butterfly and lift it up. So they're butterflies, but not like what you've seen before. You've got a system here to create many layers, many effects. Use them on cards, use them on boxes, use them, even put a little hanger on this. Put them on acetate, put them as little window decor as well, or cut them out of fabric. felts and decorate your home decor projects. But there's so much that you can do with this. And as we said, once it's gone today, that is it. It is gone.
Yep. Once it is gone, it is gone. This is your last time for it. And I think with these beautiful butterflies, they are so special looking and they've got so much character. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with these. And dependent on kind of the colour you use, you could actually make them almost copy an actual butterfly if that's something that you're interested in. But also you could go wild with glitters and sparkles and it could be like a mythical butterfly. There's loads you can do with these, but as I always say, you can't do out with them if you haven't got them. So do seize the moment whilst you can. It's $12.99. What? Or $16.95, so do seize the moment. Don't even get me started on the platinum price. I don't want to mention it because it is ridiculous. We have got for you today some succulents also. Now the succulents, again, is an unbelievable deal. This is, to be fair, a Becky can't get her words out kind of price. It does not happen often, as you know. We are bringing to you a sensational selection of your succulents. You've got lots of different elements within here, including but not limited to your dyes and the usual. Okay, well, let's put it this way. You are spending nowhere near as much as you are saving. If I say to you, you're saving £86, you might think, okay, that doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't, but that's what we're doing for you today. Check out that usual price and check out what you're actually spending. This is like you've put a little mask on and you've got yourself a little swag bag and you're in black and white stripes and you're creeping away, but we're doing it for you, so there's no need for the disguise. We've got for you a fantastic deal on that one, and the treats you can make are next level. Let's have a little look with Sharon about with these ones. Sharon, did you have to look at a lot of succulents to come up with this idea?
Oh, yes. And as somebody who has owned a lot of plants and sent them to an early grave, I've studied plants a lot.
I love it.
So this is my get out of jail free card. I can make my home decor and it's going to stay there. It'll be safe, it'll be fine.
Perfect. So we've got lots of different ones in this, haven't we?
Yeah, so really quick, I'll just show you what you get because this is unbelievable value for that price.
Yeah.
The platinum, I mean, at the beginning, that's what you paid for one dye. So this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So really quickly, what you get is, you get the Lila China, you get the Baby Aloe, you will get the the Neon Breaker, you will get the Jade. As I mentioned earlier, this is a wider spine, but again, fold down the center. But when you're quilling it, turn your quilling tool at a 45-degree angle and then quill right down the quilling tool. And that's how you get your dimension on that.
Gorgeous.
You see there?
Yes.
It's just layers.
Yeah.
Right,
beautiful.
so very simple. But as I said, on my YouTube channel, there's plenty of videos of these being demoed, if anyone needs any help. This, as I said, swordgrass, great for backgrounds, accents. As like with the others, you can make it bigger, smaller, any colour. Great fringe for all projects and, of course, across any ranges. Mm-hmm. And then here we have our Merry Maiden. And then, not only the plants, this is where you get the plant pot poke with its little label. Then you will get these tags and labels. So you see these will go with any collection you have, not just with the succulents, so very versatile and handy to have. And of course we have our little plant pot there as well. And then moving on, we have our GeoWire trellis emboss and folder. And then we have the succulent frame emboss and folder. And in the stamps and outline dies that we have as well, they mirror the design in this. So you can actually use some of the outline dies on the folder as well. Wonderful. And then we have our garden frame emboss and folder. We have our terrarium emboss and folder. Phew. So there's just so much that's in that collection, and there's so much that you can do with that, so look at these here, these cards. Now I didn't have the boards, apologies for the stamps and dies, they're out in the boot of my car. but you will get stamps and dies, to create your background papers, to give a nice aesthetic to your cards and projects. You can use them alongside to create dimensional projects as well on their own. And look at that, the embossing folders used and inked there as well. And then we have our little plant pots with the poke, with the stamps. You have things like "Have a fabulous day," or "Sorry I've been prickly," or "I love you a lot." They're on the stamps. And this one here is "Just to say." Quite a simple little card, but look, isn't that just absolutely gorgeous?
Stunning.
And again, that's another feature card, another display one. You can put that in a frame, and it can be there, all year round as part of decor. Look at the natural look, or create your own frames for it as well. Like, there's just so much in this collection, and what you can do is, and again, mix and match it across the ranges. Now, I don't think there's any papers today, Becky, with this collection, but the garden flowers papers will work perfectly with it as well.
Oh, lovely. That's always good to know. If you do want to create something special with these, let me just break it down for you now. Just want to break it down for you. So you are going to be getting a massive selection, 13 pieces, there's 45 elements. Now, these elements are reusable. So it's not like, oh, you buy the stamp and you use it once and that's it. You're going to use these over and over. And so long as you look after them, they will last you weeks, months, years, decades. I just want to break this down to you for just a hoppity-doo-dah. I, the other day, bought a chocolate bar, that big. It was a Whisper Gold, if you must know. Ooh, bubbly, with a little bit of caramel on top. Delicious. It's a high-grade, standard go-to bar. It's really delicious. I mean, I would say about 40% of it is air, because it's all like bubbly and holy. But anyway, it's nice. I spent over 80p on it. It wasn't the most expensive, it wasn't the cheapest, over 80p. I've just broken this down, and if my calculations are correct, you are looking per item, per reusable element, approximately 64p. Approx. That's special, isn't it? I think I gave Sharon whiplash then. She had a little look up pretty quick. And if it is in dollars, well, cents, it's not even dollars, it's cents. You're looking at about 87 cents per item. Just let that sink in. And now go and check out your baskets. So as well as that sensational succulent collection, I have got for you the garden florals. Now, this also have been really, really popular today. I think it's this time of year, right? We want to be surrounded by flowers and colour. It brings you joy, it brings others joy. And because these ones are so beautiful, there's so much you can do with them. Pop them on lovely headbands, get them on a fascinator for a day out. These are giftable, these are brooches, these are adornment to upcycle that old pair of shoes that are a bit, but you want to add a new bit of life. This is your way to do it. Bringing to you a massive collection, all of those dies and the papers, $99.99 or $123.65 for you. Mega saving on this. I have a feeling that Sharon is going to make Margaret very, very happy, because Margaret's asked for a little bit of a make of the lily.
Yes, this is the most popular flower in it. And like the orchid, people are a bit daunted by this. But again, like the orchid, the die cut is engineered to just fall into place for you. Perfect. So what we'll do is we'll do this really quick. And what I've done is, so we have our lily pad, and I've gone and I've cut out of the yellow, and then we have the pink one in there as well with the dots. Now, as I said before, we'll go with the pink for this one.
Okay.
Because pink's my favourite colour. Right, so we bring that in, and I'm going to bring in the black card again, just to make it a little bit easier for people to see my lights. So everyone knows that on a lily, that on the centre of the petal, there's a lot more colour, like red dots and stuff. Now, I'm going to add these now.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've just gotten my tri-blend here, and I'm using the magenta blend. And all I'm going to do is go to the end of the petal, flick. Just give a couple of little flicks like that. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same on this side. Now, if you have time, you can go and do the other side as well.
Okay.
Right. So it's just adding a little bit down the centre of it. And then the stamen tips, I'm going to add the orange. So what I'm using here, I'm using the orange blend on this. Just add the pollen to the tips of the stamen. So this is where, like, you just take the paper up another level by adding your colours to that.
And it's so quick to do.
So quick to do. And when you're at home, you know, and you're doing this, you have a lot more time and it'll be a lot neater. Okay, so we're just going to fold that along. And again, as you can see, the alignment's done.
Great.
But before I quill it, I'm going to bend back these petals. Now, you can use your quilling tool, but I'm going to be rough and ready and use my big clopsy hands and do it. Okay, then back to our red liner tape. Into that and pop some down. This is a lifesaver, this tape.
Is that your 3mm again?
3mm, yeah, I prefer the 3mm because if you can see, it just sits nicely.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You know, it leaves some paper here and here. If you use the 6mm, it'll either travel over the line and the centre of your flower, you can see it, or it'll travel under and make the base of your flower sticky.
Okay,
So I like to hide it.
great.
It makes us look like we've done this by magic as well.
Oh, that's lovely.
Nobody needs to know how we did this. You know, you can tell people that each flower took you 2 hours to make, you know, but we know the truth, don't we,
Yeah,
folks?
We do indeed.
Okay, as before, same again, no pressure, very lightly, coming around. Now, give it a little pinch, turn, give it a little pinch, and then we can just keep going. Okay, now, when you look at a lily, well, I'll bring one in, you can see that there are 3 petals on the top, and there's 3 underneath. So watch this. We're going to go around 1, 2, and 3. So there's our bottom 3.
Okay.
Now, 1, 2, and 3. There's our top one. Look how easy is that.
Fab.
And then we just play around with the stamens in the center. So the alignment is done it for you. As long as you don't pull it too tight, loosely, just quill it. And that's how easy it is to make the lily. Look at that.
That's stunning, isn't it?
Can I bring it up a bit more?
Oh, just look.
There. Like that. So again, just holding it there and popping it off with your thumb. And then, of course, you have your foliage dies as well. Just play around with that. So just a couple of tips for people, as I said, you need to work with your paper. If you just cut and quill and you don't add shape to your flowers or break down the tension on the paper, you're not going to have a natural looking flower. And in fact, the quilling looks an awful lot better when you've manipulated the paper.
Almost a bit, I suppose, like when you're baking a cake. You could just throw all the ingredients
Exactly.
in, but you've got to whisk them up to make it airy.
Yeah, you need to do that because remember, you're making a flower, you're making a plant, you know, and they're soft and they're malleable and they're shaped, while paper is hard and stiff, you know, so you need to work with it. Right, so I'll just bring that up there and so they can see.
Oh, look.
And as I said, you know, we have a group on Facebook as well, the Sharon Callis Creative Crew, and design team members are in there sharing their tips all the time, you know, and all these shows can be watched back on Crafters TV or on my YouTube
Fabulous.
channel as well. So if anybody needs any help, inspiration, or have bought the collections today, all the inspiration instructions are there for you. You just have to go and look back through the library. Or of course you can message me online and I'll point you the right direction.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much. That lily is just, it's no surprise that it's it's such a standout one and such a popular one because lilies are such a recognisable flower, right? They're just beautiful, so it's gorgeous that you can treat yourself to it today. Garden floral set for you, all of those dies and the added extras. It is just $99.99 today, or $123.65. Lots of you absolutely adoring these. Mary Pat said, I had to look twice at the price of those butterflies. Amazing deal. You're not the only one. A lot of you have had a double take on those ones and have actually checked them out. We are very low in stock now. Very, very low in stock. If there's any left by this time tomorrow, we will be shockers. There won't be. By the end of today, if we're completely honest. Let me bring to you our heartfelt greetings. This is also an incredible deal. 50% savings good. 65% saving is amazing. Today, for you, check that out. Yeah, 75% discount on this one today. We're bringing to you the wonderful heartfelt greetings. These ones are beautiful. You get the stamps that will layer up perfectly. You also get the frame shape too. Do you just want a rose on each side? You've only got, on most of these, you've only got about 5 snip points on each of them if you just want the sentiment. And you can take that out and use it as a frame, use the sentiment somewhere else. So it's really easy. I've got your rose for you. I've got your happy birthday with that lovely present and the balloons. I've also got for you the butterflies. Sending blessings. I love the idea of this maybe on the front of one of our butterflies in bloom. So you can kind of use that and maybe have one of these dies peeping through. Such a great price for me as well. And then I've got the thinking of you as well, which is lovely because it has the little flower adornments in it too. So all of this for you today should be £60. It's not even 16 pounds today, $14.99 or $16.95. Dramatic saving on that one, so do seize the moment. Lovely Susie has messaged saying, oh my word, where has the time gone? We've really only got like 15 minutes left, Becky. I know, but we've still got time to squeeze in another demo. Let's head on over again to the lovely Sharon. Sharon, I'm with you. What are we up to next?
Right, so the tea rose, as I explained earlier on, the petals look a little bit odd. They look like little love hearts.
Yes.
But there is a reason for that, I promise. Okay, so with the tea rose are like, it's like a climbing flower as well. When you look, the petals are creased and they're folded back and really tight loops under the petal. So that's what you have to do with this. You have to get out your quilling tool or your tweezers and have a play with the petal itself. So when you get your die cut out, so as you can see here, you can see there's kind of points on this. Right, so all you do is you go to the tip with your quilling tool and then bring it back. That's all you're doing. Now, you don't have to be uniform with them. You can bring some forward, bring some back. You know, work your way down it. The trick is to make this look shabby, right? So moving some forward, moving some back, like that, and you work your way right down, and then what you do is you end up with this. So I've done both sides. And as you can see, it's quite shabby looking, distressed, you know, disheveled.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish that here now, down to the last one.
If you don't have a quilling tool, what else might you be able to use?
Right. So if I don't have a quilling tool, I love these tweezers, the pincer tweezers.
Ah, yes, great.
Right, so I can use that and bend it back.
Lovely.
If you don't have that, get your pokey tool and use your finger, press it on the edge and just turn it back.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't have, you see, I'm just rolling it around it.
Yeah.
So just for speed, I use the quilling tool, but I understand it can be quite tricky for some people. So use your tweezers or use a ball tool if you want. You could put this down on the foam pad and press on it with the ball tool.
Great.
But I find with the ball tool, when you press down, it sometimes rips the petals off.
Right.
Now you can glue them back on later. And to be honest, when you quill it, nobody's going to know there's a petal missing.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I wouldn't freak out if a petal goes astray on it. And another tip, I'm using double-sided paper here, so it's the same colour on both sides.
Ah, yes.
If you were to do this on single-sided card, when you fold it over, you're going to have a white petal, a pattern petal, a white petal, a pattern petal. So I prefer double-sided. But if you have paper that's just say yellow on one side and pink on the other, use it. It's great fun.
Lovely.
You know, you'll get double tone petals from that as well. And I'll show you something as well here. I got an old book and I took it apart and I made a tea rose out of the pages.
Beautiful. Wow.
You know, for shabby chic, you know, steampunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you have light felt at home, vellum, acetate, things like that as well, perfect for this. If you have cotton, just use a fabric stiffener on it, let it dry, and then cut away and make your flowers for your soft craft projects as well.
Gorgeous.
Right, so what I've done is, same as the others, I've just put it on the quilling tool, squeezed the first few petals, and then wrapped it around. And then look, you get this shabby rose.
Wow.
The effect that's on it, you know, with the petals pushed back.
Lovely.
And then again, we pop it off and then get our foliage. And if you have the flower fairies, we have, you know, the rose that's in this will go with rose as well.
Lovely.
And with the butterflies and blooms.
Oh, yes.
Right, so like I said, we just have our foliage there, a little bit of 3D gel. I'll layer up those petals there. Another bit of 3D gel. Pop that on the back. I like to cut out loads of strips and sit in front of tell you with my lap tray, make all my flowers, put them into boxes, and then they're ready to go when I have my project.
Beautiful. Oh, that is just stunning, isn't it? It's just incredible how realistic it looks. And the fact of the matter is, hang on, 2 ticks. That started out life basically like this. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. I mean, these are the basic tools that you will have, you know, and you can take them different steps, different stages just by playing around with them. And remember, once you buy the die, you have that forever. Once you mind it and look after it. So it's not like, oh, I'm buying a flower die now, you know, I'm going to make 2 flowers. You can put that in your drawer, come back 5-10 years, you've always got your flower.
Yeah. And because these are such well-known flowers as well, they're going to be around for forever, you know, which is what I think makes them so special. Don't forget, you do get the paper sheets in here, and we do have the paper sheets separately on the website if you want them. But also don't forget, you can make and ink up and create your own papers for these.
Yes.
I mean, you could make any colour that your mind can imagine, a flower that is unique and individual and doesn't even kind of exist, you know. Actually, Sharon, have you ever done that? You must have done. Maybe gotten, for example, the tea rose, done one singular and then maybe added another one to extend it.
Yes, I have. So if you take the champagne rose and start with that,
Yeah.
and do maybe 2 layers,
Yeah.
then get the ranunculus,
Ooh.
which has, by now, you know, the last petal of the champagne rose and the first petal of the ranunculus are near enough inside, and then go with the ranunculus around it.
Yeah.
So there you go. You've got, you know, a gorgeous, it looks like a big peony at that stage.
Oh, gorgeous. Oh,
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
you play around with them, you know, and I'd love to see if people do that. Absolutely. Share them with me online, tag me and I'll share them. You know, it's all about sharing and having fun with these collections and teaching each other what you can do, and maybe people can teach me new tricks.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that. Create your own hybrid. Create your own random magical flower that might end up looking like something, but it might just be something unique and individual that you could then have your flower fairies with. We have got for you the Garden Florals collection. Just wish to remind you of some of the treats within this, because you've got absolutely loads and loads to have fun with. You're going to adore the detail, the interest, the colours, the playfulness. And that is what I would say with these. There is a playfulness to them. And there's always that wow factor, you know? And I think that's what's really special with these ones, that you will create something. I could make this flower over and over and over again. And I, to be honest, probably have seen this flower be made over and over again. But as soon as someone changes the colour of the paper, or like Sharon embossed it today, I've never seen, you know, flowers embossed before in this technique. It just creates a totally different feel. This is one of those collections that's going to be the same technique and ease to use, but each time you do it, it's going to be that bit of excitement again. And I think this is really nice. There's a playful element to this. Not just the dies I'm bringing to you. I've got your embossing folders here as well. As a reminder, you're getting that beautiful, you know, Sharon sort of says it's like a tile, and for me, it is like, it's almost like a timeless tile, but also there's a modernity to it because it's a little bit geometric. I really like this one. As well as that, I've got for you the Divine Blooms as well. Nice, big, noticeable florals. Great to pick out colours in that and florals. Then I've got some frames here for you. Again, nice sizable dies in this. And I have got papers upon papers. On here, don't forget they are double-sided, but do not forget as well that you're getting multiples of these. These are just ideas of them. So for example, this is tea rose. Do you only have to use it on tea rose? No, use it on any that you fancy. So you're getting absolutely loads in here, as you can see, and all of this, yes, I am still going, and all of this, $99.99 or $123.65. You're gonna make some fantastic pieces, and that ain't no lie. So do feel free to seize the moment on that one. There are so many people messaging in. Brenda saying, I need to start quilting again. This is so lovely. Mary Pat saying, beautiful flowers. Love the lilies. There's just so much love. Do not forget, go and head on to lovely Sharon's socials to get some inspo. Sharon, you have got the rest of the weekend ahead of you. Are you up to anything nice with it?
I'm going to be working really, like, you know, I've got some new things in the pipeline, so going to be busy.
Oh, I love it. Sharon, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate all the inspiration, and you've had loads of love.
Thanks, Becky, and thanks everybody for your comments, and I'll see you over on social media later.
Absolutely. See you later on, Sharon. Oh, she's fab, isn't she? I just adore those demos, and it's something really fun for you to get your teeth into. So absolutely do. I do want to let you know that some products are so low in stock. If it was a no, it'd be like Barry White. So do seize the moment on this one, on any of the things that you're treating yourself to. Don't forget including, I know I was meant to mention this earlier, but the Weekend Super Saver as well that comes free with the rockers. Oh, we've got loads coming up for you tomorrow. Ben and Corinne tomorrow with Colour Me Happy. So if you love you colouring, then you're happy. We've also got a pop-out special masterclass as well. And it's also Second Chance Sunday. I am next back with you on Tuesday, where I've got the lovely Michelle with me. We've got a masterclass in decoupage, which would be great if you got the flower fairies today, because you can do a decoupage sort of design with them. So that could be really cool to tune in on. I've also got Large Party with nesting dies and like Sarah's signature frost, what's it called? Frosty and Bright. So I've got oodles, that's coming up for you on Tuesday. For now though, thank you again to Sharon. Get yourself over on social media and have a good old nosy at some of the treats on there. Don't forget to check out your baskets, and most importantly, don't forget to have a fabulous weekend. Myself and the team will see you very soon. Bye bye, my loves.